Running your own business is awesome. It's the dream, as they say. But it's very stressful as well. Customers, they'll see the front end, the products, the signs, the slogans, the happy owner. But it's the back end of the business that really drives the ship. The inventory management, the sales conversions, order processing and shipping. The business behind the business is the key to business. And for millions of businesses around the world, that business behind the business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. They're home of the #1 checkout on the planet, which is why so many businesses work with them. And Shopify brings the heat with their secret weapon, Shop Pay, which boosts sales conversions by up to 50%. And that means way fewer carts are being abandoned to checkout and way more sales are going. If you want to grow your business, you better be ready to sell anywhere and everywhere your customers are. Scrolling social media, on your website, in your store, and everywhere in between. It's no secret. Businesses that want to grow with Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Heinz and Mattel use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/RTG, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/RTG to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/RTG. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It is my retro gaming podcast where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and we geek out about the games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Blank. Thank you so much for listening to the show. And I know I say that every week. I feel like it's automated now. Like, I could do that introduction in my sleep. But I want you to, really, thank you for listening to the show. Because, it's fucking crazy how many retro gaming podcasts there are out there. And that you decided, hey, I'll give this idiot a chance. Really, it melts the ice that surrounds my heart. It's like when the Grinch's heart grows. So thank you. Really, I appreciate you listening very much. And this week, it is episode 263, and we're kicking it old school and talking about a bona fide arcade classic that I only ever played on the NES. It's Paperboy. It was on everything. I played it on the NES. I love this game. If you never played Paperboy back in the day, it was almost kind of advanced for a game from 1985, but also very basic. You control a paperboy riding his bike, and you have to deliver your papers. And it's an auto-scroller. You're throwing papers from your bike, and you're trying not to hit the many, many obstacles in your way while getting the papers to the front doors and the mailboxes of your customers, but you can also destroy your non-customers' houses. It's all like the most dangerous street in the history of paper routes. There's dogs, there's angry customers with knives, there's cars, tornadoes, the Grim Reaper. People really fucking hate the news in this kid's neighborhood, apparently. But it's so fun. And like I said, you have to deliver papers to your customers' houses without destroying anything. But then you need to destroy as much as possible of the property of your non-subscribers at the same time in an apparent attempt to get them to sign up as subscribers to your paper. There's a lot on the screen. It's very reactive to what you're doing as far as the controls go. You can interact with fucking everything. It's really easy to pick up and learn, but it's almost impossible to master, which in my opinion is the sign of a very good score-based arcade game. I love this game. Paperboy's the best. I've been wanting to talk about it for years here on the show, and the time has come to collect, as it were. My guest this week is the person in our rotation that I think I'd most want delivering my newspaper. It is the gentleman of Remember the Game and one of the hosts of the Quantum Kickflip podcast, my boy David Rae. And we had a blast looking back on trying to hit mailboxes, smash windows, knock over the graves that people keep in their front yards, apparently, and just trying to last as long as possible. And we'll get there in just a minute, because speaking of trying to last as long as possible, not that way, yeah, fucking pervs, it is time for another edition of the Remember the Game infamous intro. If you're new to the podcast, welcome aboard. Consider this your warning. Our intros are kind of long. They're like 30 minutes, but they're fun. Don't turn it off. They're fun. We talk about video games and shit. It's good times, and it's way easier to get through than the street that this poor kid is delivering papers on is. But if you do want to skip it, if you just want Paperboy talk, fast forward to 30 minutes. You'll be there. You're laughing, all right? We are extending. I have to do my plugs. It's the only time I do them, except for the very end. Got to get them. This is how we keep the bills on. We're extending our summer sale on our merchandise up until the end of September. Save 20% on your order with code RTG5 at rememberthegamepodcast.com. We've got some new 5th anniversary designs. They are awesome. They were all designed by my man Joe from 4545 Creative, so show him some love. And again, you can find all of that at rememberthegamepodcast.com. It's a great way to support the show. And of course, if you don't like clothes, I get it. You can always support us on Patreon, which is finally available on Spotify. Not only can you finally listen to your Patreon episodes on Spotify, you can find the Patreon feed on Spotify, just like any other podcast, and just scroll through and see all the episodes. You can see what the entire backlog looks like if you want. You can find that link at rememberthegamepodcast.com as well. It's fucking awesome. And subscriptions start at $3 a month, and we offer up to 4 additional shows a week. Every Monday, it's our Simpsons show, Purple Monkey Dishwasher, hosted by myself and former Hall of Famer Mark McHugh. Every Tuesday, I drop The Rambling Idiot, where I talk about my comedy career, TV, movies, sports, whatever I feel like talking about. Every Friday, it's Game Patch, where I look at all the biggest news in modern games and let you know what I think about it and that kind of stuff. And Expansion Pass goes live every Thursday, and that is a different show each week. We do game rankings, character rankings. We look back at consoles, franchises. There's some comedy episodes. There's a ton of modern game reviews over there. This past week, it was Expansion Pass 176. The topic was up to our listeners, and NES games we want remakes of was the focal point. So I listed off 10 or 12 of my own. I read a whole bunch of the communities as well. It was a lot of fun. I love talking about the NES. Anytime we can talk about the NES, I'm in for it. So as is becoming tradition, here is a sneak peek of last week's episode of Expansion Pass, NES games that need a remake. If you never played it, it's actually a really clever game. The entire Addams family is like missing, and you play as Gomez, and you're like at the Addams Family mansion or whatever, and you basically are like solving puzzles, and you can do it in almost any order you want. There's different items. You like there's one, I can't remember who, maybe Pugsley. One of the characters is like underwater in the garden or in the pool in the backyard, which is full of enemies, but you can't swim in the pool until you find the snorkel, which is somewhere else in the level. If you find Thing, I think that was the name of the hand, you get a shield you can use 3 times throughout the game. If you find Lurch, you can call him later to reach up and hit big things that you can't reach, and that kind of. I've never beaten it. It's a really tough game, but it's really, really well made and clever. I'm a big fan of that game. So I would love to see it remade, modern graphics, maybe just expand on the puzzles a little bit, clean up the difficulty, definitely clean up the controls, because it controls like shit. It's a really good game. If you emulate, because you can't play it anywhere these days, if you've got like a device full of all the old NES games and shit, check out the Addams Family. That's now available in our archives, and this week it's Expansion Pass 177, and it's one of my out-of-this-world Space Age Moon modern game reviews, and I'm finally ready to talk Final Fantasy 16. I finished it a couple of weeks ago. I have a lot to say about it. Like most of my modern game reviews on Expansion Pass, it'll be spoiler-free. I will tack a spoiler cast on at the end, but the review itself will be spoiler-free, so if you haven't played it yet, you can listen to it. Don't worry about having the game ruined for you or anything like that. So that's going live tomorrow. Again, subscriptions start at $3 a month. You get new podcasts every week, ad-free, instant access to hundreds of previous bonus podcasts. Plus, you can join the Remember the Game Discord. You get a chance to vote in our Patreon polls every month. You get the ability to make comments, to be read on our shows. You get DM with me, and you even get a shout out and get to hear me mispronounce your name like I'm about to do to most of these people. A huge thank you to our newest patrons this week: Blank Squirrel, Harrison McCormack, Surliest of Hippos, I like that, Venolus, Dean Radke, Darbles, Austin Burke, The Guy, I don't know if that's a DSP reference, but if it is, that's awesome. Jazzmeat Singh, Hot Cheese Sauce, Corey Treverson, Metroid Prime Rib, It's Fucking Letter Time, Hawk Cubes, Slippery Pete, I love that reference, Parker Stoffcheck, Oscar Backersgard, Anthony Galvin, and Whiz Piz. This might be the first time that in the history of the show, I didn't fuck up anyone's names. Maybe I did. but I feel like I nailed all those. Thank you all so much for the support, and welcome to Remember the Game Industries, patreon.com/rememberthegame. Don't forget, we donate a portion of our income to charity every year as part of my 24-hour stream, and we offer annual subscriptions that'll save you your 12 month's fees. And finally, you can find me over on the old Twitch box whenever I feel like getting on there, twitch.tv/rememberthegame. I've been playing Sea of Stars over there lately, Shredder's Revenge. Come by and say hi. No subscription necessary. It's good times. That's enough blowing myself. Let's blow some of you by blowing in some cartridges. It is our opening segment here on the show. I read a few comments and questions from our Patreons, usually gaming related, but not always. And we call this segment Blowing in the Cartridge.
He blows all right. He blows big time.
That's it, honey. Get into the spirit.
Let's blow. Our first blower this week is Dr. Link, who wrote it. I don't think Link's a doctor at all. Who wrote it? He's just like, all right, take this fairy and you'll be fine. Dr. Link wrote in and said, hey, Adam, with Sonic Superstars coming out October 17th, 3 days before Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Spider-Man 2, I was wondering, what game do you think was done the most dirty by its release date? I will never forgive EA for dumping Titanfall 2 right in the middle of a 3-week window with Battlefield 1, which was another EA game, and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare either side of it. Titanfall 2 got crushed, which is a huge bummer because it is one of the best first-person shooter campaigns ever made. Even the multiplayer was pretty tight. Justice for Titanfall 2. I gotta tell you, Dr. Link, justice for Titanfall 2 are words I never thought would be uttered on this show. Not because I hate Titanfall 2. I know nothing of it. I actually, first of all, okay, so I don't know if any game is particularly done dirty by its release date, only because the developers and the publishers are the ones that decide where it's going. They're the fuck ups. But I do agree that some get dropped at horrible times. I think Sonic Superstars is being dropped at a horrible time. And I'm excited about playing that, but it went from a guaranteed day one play for me to I will get to it when I have time because it's not getting a billing ahead of Mario Brothers or Spider-Man 2. I think dropping that game 3 days before those two titles, arguably the biggest game of the year on both PlayStation and Switch, at least the biggest game for the rest of the year, I think it's a terrible call. But yeah, so Sonic Superstars is on the list. You know what jumped into my mind for a game that's been done dirty by its release date twice is Horizon. The Horizon series. If you don't know, Horizon Zero Dawn released on February 28th, 2017. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and the Switch dropped on March 3rd. So it dropped 3 days later. So Horizon Zero Dawn got overshadowed by The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And then Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel, dropped last year on February 18th. And then a little game called Elden Ring dropped a week later on February 25th. So twice. Horizon is still sold well, but it makes you wonder how much better it could have done if twice it hadn't been just buried behind The Legend of Zelda and Elden Ring. Horrible decisions. As I think that release date for Sonic Superstars is. Release it near Christmas. I don't get that at all, but whatever. Thanks for writing in, buddy. Those two monkeys are killing each other. Nice reference. Said, hey, Adam, you come home drunk and you have the munchies for a sandwich. You have all the ingredients you could ask for. What sandwich are you making? Okay, so this is a lame answer, but when I'm drunk, I'm even less coordinated than I am when I'm sober. So I'm either making just a massive PB&J, which is my favorite sandwich, on Wonder Bread. Delicious, fresh, chemically induced Wonder Bread with 3 inches of PB&J on it, raspberry jam, or grilled cheese with cheese slices. But if you want a fancy sandwich, because you said I have all the ingredients, then you're going turkey sandwich with mayo, with mustard, with pickles, with lots of pepper, with onions, lettuce. Yeah, the works. But truth be told, it's either PB&J or grilled cheese. Those are my go-to drunk sandwiches. Or I'm ordering a Donair. Because Canada. Delicious. And I'm not getting into what Donairs are. We've gone over this. Every time they come up, someone's like, what the fuck's a Donair? Google it. I'm not getting into this again. It's some weird mystery meat wrapped in a tortilla. It's delicious. Or a pita bread shell. It's delicious. That's all I'm doing. All right, we're moving on. Barry McCockiner. I get it. That you're a virgin. Wrote in and said, Adam, if you could have a room with books, games, figures, posters, etc. for one series, what would you go for? A Ninja Turtles room? Ghostbusters? Mario? Mine personally is slowly becoming a reality with Halo. Actually, a Halo room would look pretty dope. You know what? It's a lame answer because you already said it. It'd be Ninja Turtles for sure. I love Ghostbusters, I love Mario, but there's just so many generations, so many. If you look in my office, it kind of is a shrine to the Ninja Turtles. I have all kinds of fan art and stuff up in here. It would have to be TMNT. It's got to be. There's no franchise. Like, I'm literally, my whole left arm is covered in Ninja Turtles, like with tattoos. Like, it'd be Ninja Turtles for sure. They're number one. They get top billing on the card of Adam's life all the time. Thanks for writing in, Barry. Hot cheese sauce. All I think of when I hear that is like the 7-Eleven sauce. Wrote in and said, "Hi, Mr. Blank. There have been so many heavy hitters this year for gaming. My wallet has been begging for developers to slow down so it can catch up on funds. But I'm curious to know, out of all the new games and old games you've played for the first time this year, what would be your top 3 game of the years so far? Let's add more to this question. What are your top 3 most anticipated games to play this year? This includes games that are going to be released this year and games you've never played that are on your backlog that you intend to play by the end of the year. As always, keep up the good work and remember to give that CEO treats. I hate for her to bring the hammer down on her best employee because he doesn't do as she asks." Molly, she's not a treat. She likes the butt scratch. I'll give her some butt scratches. She just perked up when she heard the word butt scratches. Okay, so as far as the top 3 games I've played so far, I truthfully can't remember what retro games I've played this year, but I honestly don't know if it would matter anyways. The 3 best games I've played so far this year are Resident Evil 4 Remake, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and Sea of Stars. Like that, those are by far the 3 front runners for my game of the year right now. That said, the 3 games I'm anticipating the most to play this year, Spider-Man 2 is number 1 by just as big of margin. Super Mario Bros. Wonder is number 2, and Super Mario RPG Remake is number 3. Starfield is a 3B to Mario RPG because I am excited for Starfield and I'm looking forward to playing it this week. But it's Mario RPG. I fucking love that game. I anticipate that my ballot for Game of the Year, my 5 finalists, will be Resident Evil 4 Remake, Sea of Stars, Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man 2, and Mario Brothers Wonder. I hope I'm pleasantly surprised by something else, but I think those will be the 5 finalists for my personal Game of the Year. What a year. You're right. It's been a crazy. I think it's going to go down as the greatest year in the history of games, quite frankly. I think it'll go down as number 1. Thanks for writing in, Cheese Sauce. Decoy Man said, "Good day, Mr. B. Question here. As a double secret probation guy here, do you have a list of the people on double or secret probation? And if you don't have one, don't mind me tippy-toeing over to the rest of the hot dogs. I do not keep track of who is on double secret probation because I just presume everybody is. You know, it's innocent until or presumed innocent until proven guilty. Well, you're presumed on double secret probation until there is no way off. If you listen to this show, you're on secret probation. That's just how it works. Because I assume everybody is up to no good. So you are, Decoy Man. Yes. You are in the masses with the rest. You're all just a bunch of crumb bums. Dan Lieb wrote in and said, "I had to pause this week's expansion pass to hop on here and offer for me to blow in your cartridge for a Remember the Game episode on the NES title The Addams Family. That game is pure nostalgia for me. Many hours spent with my sisters getting effing owned by that game, but refusing to turn it off. Give it to me blank." I've never had someone offer to blow in my cartridge for an episode of the show. Perhaps a new sponsored tier. No, I don't know if that can get me canceled or not. I should have said that. Anyways, it's just my cartridge. That's all I'm talking about. Anyway, that could be worse. Yes. So The Addams Family for the NES came up on Expansion Pass this week, and I love that game. And I was like, I've wanted to cover that game on this show for 5 years. And I'm like, I don't think anybody played this game except me. And I have to say thank you to everybody that came out of the woodworks over the last week and was like, I played the Addams Family. A lot of you came to the defense of Ice Climbers, which I love too. But I couldn't believe how there was like a small but vocal minority of people that have played the Addams Family. And I'm glad because it's a really, really good NES. Hard as fuck, but a really good NES game. I bet your ass before the show is done, now that I know some other people have played it, there will be an Addams Family episode of Remember the Game. Bet your bottom dollar. Thanks, Dan. Oroku Saki's Gardener said, "What is the absolute worst thing about being a content creator?" Truth be told, it's the pressure. And I don't mean the pressure of like, I need to make another good show, but it's just like, I was going to say flying without a net, but that's not the word. Walking a tightrope without a net. Is that the phrase? Is that climbing without a rope? Whatever. It's no safety net. 'Cause it's just, like, if I have a day job, it's like, well, even if I fuck up today, like, I still have a job. Unless I get fired, I still have a job. It's just, I don't know. Sounds stupid, but it's not so much content creator. I guess it's just being self-employed, because I felt this way with comedy too. And I'm sure anybody that listens to this is self-employed. You know what I'm saying? It's just that fear that, like, fuck, if I screw up, there is no, I'm not buying food this week. And that is probably the worst thing And it's worst is like a loose term. It's the thing that keeps me up the most. Honestly, there is no worst thing to this. I am like, this is my favorite. This is my favorite era of my life right now. Has been the last 5 years. I'm so in love with this show and what I do. And thank you to all of you that let me do it. So just if you could all be my safety net, that would be fucking awesome. And finally, before we move on, you know what it is? It's letter time. It's letter time. Dog Tribute wrote in and said, "Hey, Adam, seeing that you're planning on doing Silent Hill next week for Remember the Game, I was just wondering, do you think the price for some of these old games is completely crazy or justified? Because I went to go buy a copy of Silent Hill for my PS1, and I found out that a copy is priced at over $200. Yes, I learned that as well, and I'm going to put my cards on the table. I emulated this one. I emulate when the only way to buy a game is to go to the flea market and pay somebody an exuberant amount of money for a copy. And this was one of them. I can't buy it off the PSN or anything. So I was like, suck my ass. I am emulating. Are the prices of old games crazy or justified? It's tough because I think it's both. I think it is crazy. Listen, I love Earthbound, and I wish I hadn't sold my childhood copy of Earthbound, and I would love to own a physical copy of Earthbound, but I am not paying more than my fucking mortgage payment for a copy of a game that I can play on like 8 other platforms right now. I'm a big GameCube guy. I slowly have been accumulating a GameCube collection, and there's some games on the GameCube like Fire Emblem and Chibo Robo that I really want to play, but they're fucking like hundreds of dollars. It's wild. I think it's a little bit crazy, but the supply and demand, I would bet you everything I own, stores, resellers, eBayers, whatevers, they wouldn't be pricing these games at these wild prices if nobody was buying them. You know, like I could sit here right now with my copy of Turok Dinosaur Hunter for my Nintendo 64 and put it on eBay for $800, but if no one's bidding on it, then it's, you know what I mean? I'm gonna have to drop it. And I can't imagine that there's like a giant percentage of the resellers in this world all drastically overpricing their games and not getting any buys and being like, well, if we keep listing it, eventually someone will buy it. Like, it's people are clearly buying it. So to me, that's the question, is if people are buying it, does that justify the price? I don't know. I agree. I think everything. Like, I think people just look at old stuff now and just presume it's all worth money. And a lot of it is, but like action figures, board games, fucking video games, whatever. Like, so much of the stuff we grew up with is just worth a fortune now. And I know it's such a bitch, cheap, cheese out answer, but like at the end of the day, something's worth what someone's willing to pay for. I pay for it, I suppose. But I will say, from a personal, just so I'm not completely sitting on the old fence here, from a personal perspective, I think it is crazy. And I would not pay $200 for a copy of Silent Hill. Straight up. Like, no. Fuck you. No, I wouldn't. And I won't pay like $1,200 for a box copy of Earthbound. Will I pay $300 for a copy of Fire Emblem on the GameCube? Maybe. But like with the intention of knowing that I could sell it after I play it if I want to. But no, okay, so just to answer, we're going to move on. I think it's a little bit crazy, but clearly someone's buying it. So what one person thinks is crazy, like I legitimately would not pay $5 for, I don't know, what's something I wouldn't pay $5 for? Fuck. A nice belt. I don't wear nice clothes very often. I would pay $5, but I wouldn't pay more than like $15 for a belt. There's people wearing belts that are like fucking thousands of dollars, right? Fucking Shaylee's got like 9 purses, and I know some of those purses are worth a lot of money. And I'm like, I have one wallet, and it's like a cheap fucking wallet. I don't need different strokes for different folks. I think it's crazy. Okay, let's move on. Thank you everybody for writing in as always. We got to keep this show moving. Let's get into our smash hit segment, the official game show of Remember the Game Industries. You know it, I know it. It's Play One, Remake One, Erase One. Yay. And a huge thank you to Class and Concentration from the NES for unknowingly providing us with the theme music for the show. The rules are simple. Every week I give our patrons 3 retro video games. They can play one as it was released, remake one as a modern game, and the third is erased from time forever. And as always, there are no wrong answers. There is a right one. I'll tell you what it is in a minute. And this time around, we're talking Paperboy. So I went with 3 other arcade classics that I've only ever experienced on the NES. And that is, well, like, kind of. Dig Dug 2, Q*bert, and Burger Time. I've played Burger Time everywhere, but that's our 3 nominees. And 28% said they would play Burger Time, remake Dig Dug 2, and erase Q*bert. But this one was all over the map. It was a fun one. So let's see what a few of you had to say here, and then I'll tell you what the right answer was. Old 8-bit dad wrote in and said, finally, back in the 8-bit realm where I dwell. Play Burger Time. It's perfect as it is. Agreed. Remake Dig Dug 2. It has a good concept, but it needs a little polish. It's pretty good. Erase Cubert. I like it, but rules are to be followed. Thus, it gets erased. Kudos to Classic Concentration for nailing the theme song every time. Old 8-bit dad, you made me chuckle with that comment. Like, how many episodes have we been playing? Play one, remake one, erase one now. Like 150? And Classic Concentration is fucking to the note spot on every week. So massive props to them. I agree. Solid order, too. Solid order. I really don't think there's a wrong order this week. I really mean that. Metroid Prime Rib, I like that, said play Burger Time because that game is fantastic top to bottom. The music is great. The character models are great. The gameplay is simple yet challenging. It's perfection. Remake Dig Dug 2. The game certainly holds its own against the classics, but I have to remake one and it damn sure ain't going to be Qbert. Erase Qbert because everything about that game sucks. Ooh, oh, Jesus. I hated the controls. I hated the phallic-looking main character. I hate the janky-ass isometric graphics. This game can join E.T. and video game hell where they both belong. You shut your fucking mouth, Metroid Prime Rib. You are not Prime Rib at all. You're like a McRib. You son of a bitch. Listen, I can live with erasing Qbert because you have to play by the rules, but I will be goddamned if I'm going to sit here and let someone poo-poo all over the good name of the Bert. I love Qbert. It is hard as fuck to play, but I love that damn game. So you better just, you're lucky I like your handle. Double secret probation, Metroid Prime Rib. Danny Gautier, I hope I'm saying that right, said play Qbert. There you go. A game or two with my kids. They saw the character in a Wreck-It Ralph movie, and that would be very fun to see them laugh at it. Remake Burger Time. If they keep a mode with the same mechanics but port it for modern couch co-op partying, it'd be hilarious. Good time guaranteed. That would be fun. Delete Dig Dug 2. Nothing strikes me as memorable in this game. Bye-bye. I like Dig Dug 2. But I do like that idea of a couch co-op party game for Burger Time. I do like that. And I'm glad somebody's playing Qbert. Even if I might end up bringing myself to erase it, I'm not going to be as angry about it as Metroid Prime Double Secret Probation back there was. Loren LaRuzic said play Qbert because it holds up the best of the three. Oof, that's a hot take. Wow. Remake Burger Time, honestly, just to retroactively eliminate that fucking soundtrack, but also because some modern polish would go a long way on an already decent early puzzle platformer, and erase Dig Dug 2 because it simply loses the other two in nostalgia, and the first one is better anyways. The fuck it is. I like Dig Dug 1 too, but the fuck Dig Dug 1 is better than Dig Dug 2. Dig Dug 2, you're above ground on that beautiful tropical island. Dig Dug 1, you're fucking buried alive. God damn it, you guys. You're all fucking with me today. And Slippery Pete, oh, I like that handle, wrote in and said, I don't particularly like any of these. I bet you if it was Frogger, you'd fucking like it. The people who know. Slippery Pete said, play Qbert because it's pointless fun. Remake Dig Dug because it could be more in-depth game. And erase Burger Time because it's a waste of time. Get the fuck out of my house. Oh, you go back to prison, Slippery Pete. I'm going with the majority this week. 28%. I can't believe how many of you shit on at least one of these games. 28% of you went the same way I did, the majority, including Maya Buttreeks, who said, play Burger Time. I never have, and it can't be as bad as the others. They're not bad. Remake Dig Dug because them are the rules. Erase Qbert. Fuck him. Fuck his game. He can go jump off one of those ledges and into the void where his bitch ass belongs, never to return. Some of you need a goddamn smack in the face. If to show a little bit of you need to put a little bit of respect on Qbert's name. I'm erasing him too, but I have a better reason. I'm going to play Burger Time because it is my favorite game of these three. It's awesome. I'd be fine with a remake, but I'm fine with Burger Time as it is. I love Burger Time. I'm going to remake Dig Dug 2 and just give it like the SNES 16-bit graphics and make it look tight. And I'm erasing Qbert because while I do really like him, the controls are a little fucky, especially on the NES version. And I like Burger Time and Dig Dug better, but some of you need to have fucking, oh God, fuck. Show Qbert a little bit of respect, you fucking... Anyways, thank you everybody that wrote in his played this week and disrespected the classics. Let's get a quick word in from our sponsor here, then I'll tell you what I've been playing, and we'll get into the old Paperboy talk. All right, we'll be right back. We've had some great partners over the years here at Remember the Game, but I don't know if any of them have hit home for me quite like Hometown Hero does. No pun intended. Don't start. It's a transparent, honest cannabis company that helps people and gives back to those that have served their country at the same time. I mean, come on. As soon as I read about these guys, I knew I wanted to work with them. Hometown Hero is a cannabis company out of Austin, Texas, and they were founded back in 2015 by a U.S. veteran. They have two goals: create premium hemp products that can help everyone, and to support veterans by donating a portion of those profits to organizations set up to take care of those who have served. Hometown Hero products are of the highest quality, and everything they offer is made right there in the U.S. of A. Gummies, caramels, chocolates, drink mix, there's something for everyone. And what's more, their hemp is grown locally in Texas, which is something they should and do take a lot of pride in. And they offer certificates of analysis for everything they sell because they want to be clear that their products are as advertised, both in terms of potency and ingredients. No contaminants, you get what you pay for. Just how they conduct business is enough to get my good eyes' attention, but when you circle back to the fact that the company was founded by a veteran and they put such heavy emphasis on supporting veterans, this isn't just lip service. I'm not reading a script I was given here. I'm proud to have Hometown Hero associated with Remember the Game. Reclaim your evening. Visit hometownhero.com and use code RTG to take 20% off your first purchase. That's hometownhero.com, code RTG for 20% off your first purchase. This is an ad by BetterHelp. A band once said, "Work sucks, I know." And I think most people agree with them. Workplace stress is now one of the top causes of declining mental health, with 61% of the global workforce experiencing higher than normal levels of stress from their jobs. And while walking away from your job might not be an option, taking a little time every day to focus on yourself and your mental health can make a huge difference. I know in the summer I try to get outside every day, get a little bit of sun, and just enjoy the outdoors. It really helps. At least until my allergies attack, and then it's ugly. It's important to take steps to combat work stress, and therapy can be a huge one. It's not just for overcoming trauma. Therapy can help you define work goals, set some work boundaries, develop coping skills. It's like a cheat code for life. And if you're thinking, man, I'm too busy for therapy, well, look into BetterHelp. They make therapy as convenient as possible. You can meet with one of their over 30,000 therapists online and on your schedule, just like over 5 million people around the world already have done. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Unwind from work with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/rememberthegame. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rememberthegame. All right, what have I been playing over the last week? I've been playing Silent Hill like a fiend. I'm right at the end of it. I'll probably finish it off, but before this podcast goes live, that's going to be next week's episode. It was supposed to be this week's, but the guest I had set up got called into work and couldn't record. So assuming he's around this weekend, we're going to bang that out this weekend. That'll be next week's episode. I've also been playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. I've gone back with the new DLC. It's awesome. That game's awesome. And if you haven't played it, I'm begging you, give it a chance because it's awesome. And then I'm playing Sea of Stars, which, as you may have heard when I was talking and blowing up the cartridge, is probably a nominee for my game of the year. It is fucking spectacular. If you grew up loving Chrono Trigger, it's a must play. If you grew up loving Mario RPG, it's a you should play. If you grew up loving both of them, it's a super must play. And if you haven't played any of them, I'm kind of surprised you're listening to this show, but it's still very good. And it's on Game Pass and PS Plus. So I recommend giving it a shot. It's fucking really, really good. Like it's been a while since a game had its claws in me as deep as Sea of Stars does. Probably not since Resident Evil 4 Remake, frankly, which is only like a few months, but whatever. All right, that's what I've been playing. Let's talk Paperboy. That's why you kids are here. As always, I like to let you nerds sound off about the game we're covering before my guest and I hog the microphone. We had a lot of comments, so let's see what the hot dogs have to say. Pornovirus said, this game reminds me of my dad walking into the room and trying to figure out what the fuck I was playing. Rest in peace, I miss you. Oh, that was sorry about your dad. That's a sad ending to a nice comment. I do like that, though. But you know what? That's probably about the best game your parents could walk in on you playing. Paperboy, as opposed to walking in on, like, fucking South Park or something. At least Paperboy's pretty explainable. Max Power said, God, I liked this game. Fun memories of dodging, throwing, and breaking windows. My buddy had played this game so many times, I swear he could have done the first level blindfolded. No, he couldn't, because the fucking game is cheap as shit. It would have fucked him up. But I played this game like a fiend as a child. I love Paperboy. Char Aznabear said, my brother had this on the GBA. We can call it Paperboy, but I'm going to be real. I preferred to play Make the Hood of That Car Fall on the Man. Boy. Yeah, it's Dave and I get into that this week. Like, this is almost like a bully. There's almost like an 85 bully, and you'll hear why. You can fuck with a lot of people. It's the funnest part of the game. Kane Zilla said, man, Paperboy. This has to be my first memory of video games right here. I remember we had this on the Commodore 64. Would have to be the game that truly got me hooked on gaming. I've often wanted to get back into it, but I don't want to tarnish those memories of simpler and better gaming days. Absolute classic. You know, I haven't played this game in probably 30 years. Dave replayed it for the show. He actually played it while we were recording. And he said that it was maybe a little bit rough by today's standards. I have so many memories of Paperboy that I'm scared to tarnish its legacy as well. But I do want to play it again. Justin said, I just wanted to ride the ramps and see the headlines. Mostly fuck this game. Though, dude, those ramps are impossible. The obstacle course at the end, fuck off. The headlines are dope. But those obstacle courses at the end are impossible. And George left me his lunchbox in his will. Said, I've been waiting on this. Oh, man, are we in for some Angry Adam or what? I don't remember. I don't think I got to it. I might have gotten a little bit. I love this game. So if I got angry, it was accidental. I don't think I got that angry. But let's listen. Let's get to it and find out. That's why you're here, right? I'm going to queue up one of only 2 songs in this fucking game. And when it stops, my buddy David Rae and I are going to talk about Paperboy, which originally released in the arcades back in February of 1985. This is old as shit, like me. Enjoy the podcast, everybody. Let's go. All right, so joining me via the blank phone this week to talk about it's a classic, but it's a classic in the sense of like it probably was better played in the 80s than it is in 2023, is my go-to guest for NES games, and this is like an arcade one. It's not just NES, but the fact remains, you're the guy for these ones. It's the gentleman of Remember the Game. It's my boy David Rae. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm great. Well, you and I just like talked wrestling for an hour before we started going on this, so I'm all like jazzed up about wrestling, and I'm jazzed up for Paperboy because I have a soft spot in my heart for this game. As a child, I loved this game, man.
Yeah,
loved it. But I haven't played it in a long time.
Have you played it recently?
No, it has probably been, gosh, it must be 20, 30 years since I've played Paperboy.
Sure.
Is there? You were just saying that like you've been playing it to like refresh. Yeah. How's it hold up in 2020? It's almost 40 years old. This game came out in 1985. 40 years.
85 was when it came out in the arcade, and then I looked it up. It was 88 on the NES.
Which, sorry for the record, that is the only way I've ever played it. I know it's like ported to everything, but I've only ever played the NES version. What about you?
For me, I only ever played it on the NES as well.
Okay.
But I was like looking it up because I was like, I want to try to be familiar with some of these things, you know. I'm looking at screenshots from the arcade, and I'm like, oh yeah, that looks great. Like it's kind of like what you remember the game to be. And I've been now playing the NES version, like a port of it, and I'm like, oh, this does not look as good. This is because it's that whole thing of like the NES can't compete with arcade machines at this time, right?
No.
So, because like it's the same thing with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game, which is like looked really good in the arcade, but it didn't look great. It didn't look as good on the NES.
Yeah, dude. Because like there was a lot of arcade ports to the NES, and I think some of them like Bubble Bobble, Pac-Man. Like, there's some great arcade ports to the NES, but then there are some where like the physical is not the word, but I can't think of the right one. The technical limitations, that's the one of the NES held it back because obviously arcade games were a lot more powerful than these were. And let's be honest, like, dude, I'm not saying that Paperboy is like Red Dead Redemption 2 or anything like that, but like, there's a lot going on. Paperboy's a busy game. Like, this isn't Galaga or Pac-Man on like a static screen and that's it. This is moving. There's a lot.
Well, and this, like, the big thing that I've noticed between the arcade versions and the NES versions is the number of colors. That's what it is, right? Like, the NES just does not have as many colors as what you can have on an arcade machine. I'm not sure like why that is. That's not really my forte, but that's the thing that you notice right away is the number of colors. It does like look cheaper, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Because as opposed to these colors that just pop. Right.
Yeah, totally. That said, though, like I have always taken a stance of like if a game plays good, I don't care. I'm like if it looks nice,
Right.
that's great. It needs to play well, and like I think Paperboy plays good. Like it's like it's
a ringing endorsement by Adam Blake. It plays.
It's good. I like Bart. It's good. It's just I think that like I'm not trying to dunk on Paperboy because I like this game. We're gonna get into it, but I do think I like the concept of it.
Yes.
More than I think at times the execution of it can be a little frustrating. But the concept of it, I think, is spectacular. I really love what it does. It's just sometimes trying to get it to do what it does isn't a very easy thing to do. If that makes sense.
Well,
Which I think it does.
It's like a very weird version of a bullet hell game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It is. If you've never played it, just quickly, we'll set the table here. If you've never played Paperboy, it's an arcade game where like. I'll ask you this. When you play a game, like as a child, when I would play Pac-Man, when I would play Paperboy, Galaga, I was always trying to see how many levels I could beat. I didn't care about my score. I wanted to beat the levels. As an adult, I play for the high score. Where are you?
Yes.
And then we'll explain the rules, but where are you on that? Are you one side or the other?
I usually go with levels.
Okay.
That's the way I typically go. Especially, it would be different if it was like once I beat it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
But like when I play Pac-Man, if I don't get a perfect level on level 1, even if I didn't die at all, if I missed like 3 or 4 ghosts, I restart. Whereas as a kid, I was like, I'm going for just beating as many levels. Whereas now I'm like, I don't care if I only beat 5 levels. I want the best score I can get. But that's just, I guess I'm just getting old. And with Paperboy, you can do both because the concept of the game is you're delivering newspapers and you get scores for every newspaper you deliver properly and every piece of, you get points when you damage non-subscribers' houses, right?
I think so. I think that's I haven't really.
Yeah, you do.
See,
I'm just reading it now.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
I thought that was the case.
Yeah.
So you're having to manage how many newspapers you have.
Yes.
So you're picking up like packs of newspapers and trying to deliver the ones properly to the houses you need to.
Which just in that basic premise, like that's a really, frankly, I think it's kind of a great idea. For a basic video game, you're just because everyone knows of the classic Paperboy, like on the bike, riding, whipping the newspaper, and like causing damage and throwing the newspaper poorly and that kind of stuff. And so it's really funny that they're like, let's make a game where you get points for delivering the newspaper to your customers by not damaging their house. But then to make it more fun, instead of riding by your non-subscriber's house, you also get points if you destroy the property of the non-subscribers, which is actually, that's the funnest part of the game is riding by a non-subscriber's house and just whipping newspapers at it and trying to smash windows and knock over garbage. Like that's the funnest part. Is it not? It's the vandalism.
They really tapped into what Grand Theft Auto would be in the future.
Yes.
I just want to cause chaos.
You're right. It is Sunday morning Grand Theft Auto. Like that's what this game is. But you're right too, and like
or like the prequel to Bully.
Yes, absolutely. And so like just that is great. But then in addition, like I think one of the coolest mechanics in this game, and you brought it up, is that you don't have unlimited newspapers.
Yes.
And so you have to decide, because you can pick up more as you ride. You can pick up the bundles and replenish your papers. But you have to decide, you're like, I have 5 papers left. I still have 5 customers that technically I need to get to, of subscribers. Do I waste these papers destroying non-subscribers' houses and hoping I get more before I get to my next subscribers? Or do I save them to make sure I have enough to do my subscribers? If you've never played this, that might sound so stupid and lame. To me, that's the secret sauce of this game, though.
Well, and you're also making the debate of like, okay, I got these many newspapers, but since it is randomized, like every day or whatever, because that's how the levels are done. It's done Monday through Sunday.
Yeah.
Every day, like the obstacles are not the same. It's not like you can memorize like, oh, there's going to be like the guy doing like exercises in this spot at this house or whatever. It is different every time. And even like where they put the newspapers is different every time. So you can't like memorize how it's going to be.
That's a great point. Yeah.
So you have to make the decision of like, well, I don't have a lot of newspapers. I'm going to hope that I can find a bundle of newspapers, and it will be in a place where it'll be possible to get without being chased down by a stupid dog or like a lady with a knife flying at you.
Yeah,
This neighborhood is nuts.
It's like, a scary neighborhood to be a delivery boy, that's for sure.
Yeah, like the dogs come out and try to get you. Those fucking dogs.
Dude, those dogs will wreck you. They will wreck you.
Look, I think that was the first time I've maybe swore in your podcast. I just realized.
I think it is. I was thinking that. I didn't want to derail your thought, but I thought it was too. I was like, wow, dude. David's heated.
I'm playing it right now, and I'm just being frustrated. But it's always the dog that like forces me off the sidewalk onto the street where there's like some like motorcycle coming up the way. And it ruins my run.
People back out of their driveways without looking in this neighborhood because you can get run over easily. It's a dangerous place. I wanted to circle back to a great point you made that I didn't think of. You said that like the obstacles vary day by day. You never know when a car is going to pull out of a driveway, when a dog is going to come running, when a lady's going to come running,
or
after
even
you.
what houses are going to be your customers.
Well, but that's what I was going to say though, is that like at least on the NES version, at the beginning it shows you like there's like 20 houses, and it's like these 10 are your customers, these 10 aren't. This is the NES one, and the 10 that are yours are white, and the 10 that aren't are red. But then if you make it through and you hit all 10 of your deliveries, a non-subscriber becomes a subscriber. Anyone that you missed as a subscriber unsubscribes. But the ones that you nail stay the same. So you can be like, I know that I have 3 houses left, but I don't know what obstacles are going to get in the way. So there's a little bit of randomization mixed with a little bit of repetition. And it's a really... Again, like, because to me, where the game falters at times is the control scheme, but the concept of it is quite ingenious. Like, I really like it.
I also like the fact that you can earn more newspaper subscribers by throwing papers through their windows.
Yeah. I was thinking that too.
Which I just realized is like how the mafia would do newspapers.
Yeah, totally.
They just, here's your news.
But it's like
maybe you should get a subscription. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe you have a window you have to fix. That'd be too bad.
Sure would be a shame if I hit your wife in the face with a newspaper. Maybe you should subscribe. And it's true because you can destroy all 10 houses that aren't subscribers. But as long as you hit the 10 that are yours, you gain a new subscriber the next day. And you're right. It's almost like people are like, well, either I subscribe or this fucking kid is gonna come ruin my house again. Like it's so funny that is the way it works. But I also it
really is Bully. It's Bully the prequel.
It's Bully. It is Bully. I don't know what it was like in the arcade version, but on the NES version, there was like 2 or 3 distinct designs for houses that are subscribers to start and ones that aren't. And I one of my favorite things about playing this game as a kid was getting a non-subscriber to be a subscriber, because then I got to try to deliver it to like a new kind of house.
Oh, sure.
Do you know what I mean? And I always thought that was very cool too, because that's one of the things I love too is the sheer number of ways your newspapers can interact with everything. Like, it's not just destroying houses, but like when you deliver them to a customer, the newspaper either needs to hit the front door or go into the mailbox, which is worth more points, but it's harder to do.
Did you have a strategy for that? Did you like, hey, I'm just going to try to hit that door? Or are you like always trying to go for the mailbox?
I always went for the mailbox. And almost
And
always
that's
cost me
hard.
it's really hard, and it almost always cost me a subscriber at least one a day, because sure as hell there's windows beside those mailboxes, and if you miss, you smash the window instead. But always go, because I want the style points and it's so satisfying, dude. The closest thing I can think of is like when you drain a 3 in NBA Jam. Now that I've played NBA Jam and I know that reference, that's what it feels like to toss one of those newspapers and stick it in the mailbox. It feels good. It feels great, but it's hard to do. It's very hard to do.
Yeah, because like also it's not like it's a perfectly timed thing, because the paper goes at a diagonal. You know what I mean? Like it has forward momentum. So if you're farther away from the house, you got to throw the paper earlier so that it arrives at the right point. Right?
Yeah. And if you've never played it, like this is it's so you're on your bike, but it's auto scrolling. Like it never stops. You can speed him up or you can hit the brakes and like slow him to a crawl, but he never stops moving. And it's not an isometric view, you know, like a Hades or something is, but it's almost like a weird like 30-degree angle. Like,
yeah, you're kind of positioned in the bottom to bottom right of the screen, and you're traveling towards like the right side of the screen, like you're going up at this angle. And that's how they can hide what's coming up for you, because that's really what the design is, right?
Yeah.
Is to like, if you could just see straight ahead, you could see this whole, like the whole streets and everything. But because it's only like the road takes up like the weird corner of your screen, it's hard to see what's coming, and you have to react quicker.
Yeah.
So like that's where they make the game challenging. It is weird because it is cutting out like the whole of like it feels like all this real estate is just taken up by like stuff that you don't interact with. You know what I mean? Like you're not.
Yeah.
It's
it like, I think if you're new to the game, I could see how it'd be frustrating that you can't see anything that's coming in front of you. But that is very intentional, and it is like you basically are reacting to what's happening at the house you're at right now. And then like so and even that is tough because the boy is pedaling. And so you need to be watching in front of you to be like, oh, is anyone coming down the sidewalk? That kid that's running with the I've never understood, what is that hoop they push with a stick? Like, what
it's
is
just a hoop and stick.
I've never played with a hoop and stick. It seems like something from the 20s. Like, I don't know what this
precisely.
is. Okay, it is that. All
right. It's a toy from before entertainment was made.
Yeah, before toys. Yeah, basically. It was like, hey, do you want to play with my rock? Only if I can use your hoop and stick. That must have been that's what an Xbox was in the 1930s, was a hoop and stick. But like, you have that kid running. You've got like the break dancer in the sidewalk. You have cars pulling out of driveways.
A guy with a jackhammer with no like other warning. You know?
No street signs or anything. Yeah.
And heaven forbid that you go off the sidewalk onto the street and you have to wait for like another driveway to get back up onto the sidewalk.
Oh my God. Yeah, I forgot. Because like in theory, you can move off the sidewalk onto the street because there's far fewer obstacles on the street. But there's sewer covers and there's cars coming at you, and you have no time to react, and you have no room. At least when you're on the sidewalk, you can go up onto people's yards sometimes and stuff.
You have more options.
Yeah.
If you are it is a crisis if you have to
I love it when you call stuff a crisis. You've done that a couple of times. I love it when you do that.
It's just like, oh no,
this is a crisis. I love it. I love it.
This dog is going to murder me.
Yeah.
I have to go onto the street into oncoming traffic. Do I really want to do this? And you have to. And then that's when they send a tornado after you.
Oh, yeah.
That is one of the things. Like a full-on tornado. Just like, it's like a child-sized tornado, to be fair. But, like, it is a tornado.
A tornado nonetheless. You're right.
Yeah.
It's like going onto the street is almost like your Hail Mary play. Because you know you're probably going to, because like, and that's the thing is like, and I forgot about this. Once you're on the street, you can't just move back up onto the sidewalk unless it's a driveway. No. If you try with a curb, you crash because this kid's not very good at riding his bike. So when you're on the street, dude, you never stop scrolling. You have to throw these papers, but the papers travel with a little bit of momentum based on how you're riding your bike. So you can't throw them when you're lined up with the mailbox. You need to throw them before you're lined up with the mailbox. The further away you are, the faster you need to throw it. Dude, it's normally once you're on the street, you're probably fucked. Like things probably went a little too far. Oh, it's just, but it's so much fun. Like it's just, I love the zaniness of it. Oh my God, I love this stupid game so much.
I as I've played it, I'm like, this is like at that level of, it's just frustrating enough, but it's like just possible enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hold on.
Did I just lose you?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, you called me on FaceTime. I'm declining.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
I'm back.
You know what? Here's what we had some technical difficulties, everybody. So I've cropped them out via the powers of magic. We're gonna cut for our break right here. We'll let the sponsors sound off while we figure out how to work our phones, and then we'll come back and continue singing the praises of Paperboy. We'll be right back. All right. Apparently, we have it's on me. Apparently, technology is as difficult as delivering newspapers in the world of Adam Blank. But yeah, so that's basically the gist of the game. You need to manage your stock of papers, deliver them to the houses that are good, and then just absolutely go scorched earth on your non-subscribers. And like we were saying earlier, that is the funnest part of the game, in my opinion, is just destroying these houses. I love it.
And then as a weird like little bonus at the end, there's like a track.
Oh, dude, yeah. Oh, my God.
The obstacle course?
Yes. Every day, once you finish all your... It doesn't even matter if you got... Because, like, how you lose the game is you run out of lives or you run out of subscribers. And I don't know about you, but, like...
completely biff it.
Yeah, I've played where I literally have started a day with 1 subscriber. And then it's like... I'm like, all I need to do is save 1 paper for that house and make sure I don't break a window with it. And then... And other than that, I can just destroy everything I want. But regardless of how you do, you get to play this obstacle course at the end. And I got to say, dude, on paper, the obstacle course looks like so much fun. In execution, that's where the controls fall apart to me. I hate that obstacle course. I'm terrible at it.
That's where like the angling that you have for the entire rest of the game really hurts it.
Yes.
You know, add to it, the other thing I find frustrating about this game is the size of hitboxes do not make sense to me. Like, it feels like, can you get around this? Is this possible?
Yeah.
And because you can't just turn on a dime. Like, you can only turn a little bit either way. You can't just like
you're always
no
moving
sliding.
You're always moving at that kind of 45-degree angle toward the top of the screen, and you can go left or right, but like you always have to be moving up toward the top of that screen. And you're right, dude, it's so infuriating when you're like on the sidewalk and you can't go onto the street because maybe there's a stupid tornado there or something, and there's like a break dancer on the sidewalk, but you can't go up and you can't get up into a yard because there's a sign there and there's no way past. And sometimes it feels like that happens. You're trapped.
Yeah, that's where the randomness of the level of the game kind of really hurts it.
Yeah.
Where it's just like sometimes they've just given you an impossible problem, and it's like, well, okay.
Yeah. And then you have to just decide, like, well, what do I want to hit? Like, what is going to hurt me the least here? Obviously, it doesn't matter. You don't have health. Like, 1 hit kills. But I wonder if that is a product of being an arcade game where, like, the goal is to get as many of your quarters as possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, it was not a flaw.
No, it was an intentional, like, we'll kill you. Like, we are going to kill you. It's just a matter of how. And you're right. The hitboxes are, like, okay, you know what? Finish your thought. Because because I agree with you by and large, but, like, there are some hitboxes in this game that are fucked up.
Yeah, well, and also sometimes because sometimes your wheels can cross over stuff and it's fine, and like you don't really know where you die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so it's very frustrating.
What I find irritating is that I agree with you. I find the collision detection and the hitboxes and stuff when it comes to dealing with the obstacles to be kind of hit and miss, and it can be frustrating when you're like, that didn't touch me, but it did, or vice versa. But I will say, I think the collision detection of the newspapers and the way they interact with the houses and the obstacles and stuff is almost perfect. Maybe I'm remembering it incorrectly, but like, I really am shocked at how well it knows what did that newspaper hit. Did it hit the front door well enough to register as a delivery? Did it get into that mailbox? Did it break that window? But that almost adds to the frustrations of like, the obstacles in the street are killing me, but it knows exactly where these newspapers are. You know, like, because maybe I'm wrong. I'm curious if you agree. I found the collision detection of the newspapers really good.
Yeah, like it always, when it happens, it doesn't feel like, oh, that was off, because it is like the same angle. You don't have to worry about riding your bike and turning with the bike, and then also having to worry about aiming the newspaper in the same way. Like it's not like it's always going to leave your hand at the same angle. And so when you see it hit, it's just like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
You do begrudgingly give it to that, but that dog, no way did he get me.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm really glad that you can't steer the newspaper once you throw it. Like, I'm sure there was a temptation, or I'm sure there are people that play this for the first time, and they're like, dude, you should totally be able to have a little bit of control over where that newspaper goes. But as someone that's been playing this game since I was a little kid, you're right. Not only, I think it adds to the challenge that you can't, the only way you can really control the newspaper is how fast you're pedaling. It feels like it goes a little bit more at an angle or a little bit less, but it's by and large, it's consistent. And I think that's like one of my favorite things about this game is how it rewards practice. Like, if you get good with that newspaper, you can thread a needle.
Yeah.
With how you throw that newspaper, and that it is so consistent. Really, it's still a very cheap, unfair game, but I feel like that's one of the instances where they're like, all right, we'll give you this. You know what I mean? Like, this will be fair. And I think it is. I think the way your newspaper travels is fair. Like, I don't think it's cheap. I think the way everything hits you is cheap, but the newspaper isn't.
Yeah, because it is a very tricky. It's the randomness of the things coming at you that really make this game can feel cheap and unfair. Like it's hard to say, like, if I could just keep playing this like I'm not lying. I'm still currently playing this game as I talk to you.
I love it.
It is. I don't think I've gotten to Wednesday as I'm talking to you, so it's, I guess, enough of a distraction that way. But are you losing? Are you losing because you're out of subscribers, or you're running out of lives? It has to be running out of lives. Yeah, it's the lives. You never run out of subscribers. It's always that it's just too damn hard. Because you can always hit one. Like I haven't done a perfect day yet where you hit all of your subscriber houses.
Yeah. Which feels great when you do it. It feels.
Oh yeah, I could see that being like, there's the dopamine. You know what I mean?
Because I love that it does that little like so at the beginning of every day, it shows your empty street and it goes like beep 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 beep, and it plants all your subscribers, and then it goes with like a lower like boop 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 boop, and those are the non-subscribers. And then at the failures, end of, and then at the end, the ones you destroyed. And then at the end of the day, once you finish that fucking obstacle course, which I still think is impossible, then I want to get back to that because that infuriates me. But when it then at the end of the day, it does the same thing. It's like beep 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 boop boop boop, and then it either flashes the White Houses red that are unsubscribing, or if you nailed all of them, then a red house flashes white. And again, there's 2 or 3 designs for subscribers and 2 or 3 for non-subscribers. And then it's so wild that overnight the non-subscriber got so scared of you that they subscribed so you wouldn't destroy their house, and they painted their house from red to white so that you know that you need to deliver to them now. And then it's like this fun new challenge of trying to figure out, because that's the one thing too, is the newspaper has to hit that front door of the mailbox, and it makes a noise when you do. And it can be really tough, especially on those new houses, to figure out where the sweet spot is of where you need to thread the needle to hit the front door. Like,
yeah,
that can be
it's a
tough.
different layout. And
And there's usually stuff in the way, like pillars and flower pots and stuff.
And gravestones.
Yeah, what is? Thank you.
Why
What
are
is
the gravestones on people's front yards?
Like, benefit of the doubt, maybe it's October and their decorations.
Yeah, I guess.
Because I agree, it's fucked up that there's literally like just random houses that just have gravestones in the front yard, and then you can knock them over for points.
I mean, I guess here's another thing I just remembered. There is the Grim Reaper.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, when I don't remember when the Grim Reaper comes.
The Grim Reaper is just chilling on the driveway sometimes, and I don't know, he tries to get you to subscribe to Amway or something like that. I don't know, but he's just chilling.
Dude, I love some of the stupid obstacles in this game. I forgot about the Grim Reaper, the lady with the knife, which I, as a kid, never realized that she's trying to cut me. But that's very funny. It's the obstacles are so much fun.
I should point out that this lady is one of your subscribers. It's not like she's just coming out of the non-subscriber house to try to scare you away. She is one of your subscribers.
You're right, because she comes out chasing you, but then you throw the newspaper, and if you nail her delivery, like you hear that burnt, because you hit the right spot, she backs off. She's like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, I got the newspaper.
I'll see you tomorrow, Timmy. And you're like, you got it, Mrs. Johnson. You crazy bitch. It's you're right. I totally forgot about that. She chases you until you deliver the paper, and then she leaves you. What a great video game. I love Paperboy.
That's what Karens are. I think that's where I just threaten until I get good service.
Yeah. Where's my paper? And then the best part is like, cause you can't explain it, right? But like, it's so, dude, she comes running out after you and you throw the paper. And then cause that's the thing too, is like you can miss, and it's so, you never stop moving forward. And so you slam on your brakes and you're whipping papers, trying to get one on the front step of the mailbox, whether she's chasing you or not. And then you miss, and you're like, I still have 3 papers and the mailbox is right there, but I can't throw them backwards and I'm just past.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and I used to do that, and now I realize that like if you vandalize your subscribers, it costs you points. But as a kid, I would take it out on them. I'm like, if I missed your house before I go by, I'm smashing every window I can.
I'm burning this bridge.
Yeah. I'm like, that's what you get for putting a pillar and a grave in front of your mailbox, you son of a bitch. But it's oh my gosh, what a fun game. I love this stupid game so much.
I also love this game because it's now a relic of its time. Because like, newspapers aren't a thing. Like newspaper boys aren't. Is that much of a job anymore?
I don't think it's probably like flyer like now it could be like Flyer Kid or something. I don't know, but even those are dying. You're right. It is a relic of its time. But it's such a good game. And that literally I still want to get into that obstacle course, but like as far as the actual like mechanics of the game, I don't think we've forgotten anything. I've never made it to the end of the week either. I don't know, because I think every day there's more obstacles too.
Oh yeah, I watched somebody play it. Like technically from my understanding, I think you can beat this game in 15 minutes. I think it's possible.
I was going to ask that,
like, nail that.
If you make it to the end of the week, is it like Donkey Kong where it loops over and you go back to level 1?
I don't think so. I think it ends.
Or just Paperboy saves the world or whatever, and that's it.
Yeah. Or this paper. Well, and then like if you read the newspaper, because they also sometimes show the newspaper, and it's just like, police don't know who this vandal is, and of course it's you.
Yeah.
But I think it just gives you the newspaper at the end. Everybody loves this Paperboy.
Oh, I never knew that. I always assumed it started over.
Paperboy stops thief.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Hero Paperboy stops vandalizing neighborhood. because I always wondered, like, I was never good enough to make it through the whole week. I either ran out of subscribers or I ran out of usually lives. But I always wondered, like, can you get all 20 houses? Like, because you only gain one a day, right?
That would be like the 100%ing, I think, of Paperboy would be like have all of the houses being subscribers and getting to Sunday.
Yeah,
I think that would have to be the 100%ing.
It's funny because when we talk about really hard games, sometimes I'm like, I don't even think they programmed an end because they're like, no one's ever going to get there anyways. And this feels like one of those games where I'm like, they never even planned for it. They're like, no one will ever beat this. We don't need to put an end in this. No one's ever going to get here.
If you're thinking that this is an arcade game, that's the right length, right? Like,
right. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Man, I want to play this.
Why would you need more than the 7 days, you know?
Yeah. I want to
when usually you'll be dead by Wednesday.
Right. But if it's an arcade game, then like usually the goal was the high score so you can put your name on the leaderboard. And if that's the case, it would make sense to have it keep repeating over and over. Because then you could keep gaining customers. Like to me, like eventually you could.
No. But the other thing is, if they keep it short, like if it only keeps it to the 7 days, then guess what? You have to throw in another 25 cents if you want to try again to beat that high score.
No, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you're really good at Donkey Kong or whatever, that 1 quarter could last you an hour.
Oh,
you're
buddy.
Like
yeah.
one of those like weirdos.
Totally. Yeah, those fucking freaks. Or you're a cheater like Billy Mitchell. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
There. It's been a long. I don't think maybe I'm wrong. If I am, a listener will tell me. In 263 episodes, I don't think I've ever called my shot on Billy Mitchell, but I just want to say on behalf of gamers everywhere, like, go suck an egg, you fucking piece of shit. Everybody hates you. Like, I hate that. I fucking hate that guy. Anyway.
Like, if you told me, if you said, describe a guy who would lie about having the high score in Donkey Kong, and then you came back to me with his picture, you'd be like, yeah, that's him. That's him. You nailed it 100%.
Yeah, that's absolutely it. Fuck Billy Mitchell. I hate that guy. If you don't know who he is, look it up. King of Kongs. There's like a great documentary about it. That guy's just the worst. Yeah. Those obstacle courses. So at the end of the level, you get to ride this obstacle course. And as a kid, it was always like one of my favorite parts of the game because it's like a BMX track. There's ramps. There's like hoops you can try to knock over with targets and everything. And like it seems like so much fun. I don't know about you, buddy. I don't think I ever made it to the top of that obstacle course. Because you don't lose a life if you die there. It just ends the level.
It just ends the level. Yeah.
I don't think I ever
like
did
a bonus level.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I did it back in the day, and I'm doing it like half the time, even as I'm talking to you right now.
Maybe I did. It is like I really think
I don't feel I do good at it though.
No, it's
like even if I do beat it, I
like you said it. Like the weird controls work to an extent at various degrees when you're on the street playing the core game, delivering your newspapers. But when you get into like, for lack of better term, like almost a platformer in this game, it is broken as fuck. And like, thank God it doesn't cost you a life, because if you lost lives in there, this game would be impossible.
that would be outrageous.
Yeah, it'd be impossible.
Yeah.
So at least once you crash, you just can't earn any more bonus points.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the screen to show you how bad you are as a delivery boy.
Yeah.
Man, I've never played Paperboy 2 either. Like, I've only ever played the original one. Have you played like the new ones or anything?
No, I'm actually not familiar. Like as I said, I kind of did some like light Googling or whatever, and I don't, and I saw that it talked about it, but I'm like, so like, what would you do to evolve it?
I don't know. Like, to me, the only thing I would, like, if I was in charge of a sequel, I think you could clean the controls up a little bit. But again, though, like, I'm not trying to excuse it, but I really feel like this is a game where, like, the broken controls, like, I've been playing Silent Hill on the PS1 lately, and a lot of people dunk on the tank controls in that game, but I'm a believer of, like, I almost feel like the crappy tank controls in an old survival horror game in some ways are almost part of the charm. And I almost feel like the crappy controls in this game in some aspects almost make it better. Like they almost are part of the game. You know what I mean?
I guess it's. I suppose I could see where you're talking about. It's. I feel like it could have used a little bit more polish or something but I don't know how you would polish it, because I also understand that they're kind of like trying to get this thing out. The weird thing is it feels so out of place, because I try to like look up other games that came out at the same time, because it took them 3 years to port this game.
Yeah.
It came out in 85, came out or in the arcades in 85, and then came out as a game in 88, which is about the time that Super Mario 2 came out, and just before Mega Man 2 came out and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I feel like this game does not, like, they were too far behind.
Yeah.
It feels like too crappy of a game to come out at the same time as those other ones.
I've always felt the arcade ports, by and large, like, doesn't matter if it's like Golden Axe on Genesis or if it's this or whatever. I've always felt that the arcade ports are just like, you know what? We already have this game. I'm simplifying. I'm sure I'm oversimplifying it, but they're like, we already have this game. Right click, save as a Nintendo game, and now we can sell a bunch more copies of it. And I genuinely think
they scale it back for sure.
Totally. I think part of the reason they ported so many arcade games to home consoles too were for like the parents and the people's in their 20s. Like, as a little kid, I wanted to play Mario. My mom played Galaga and Paperboy like a fiend because she knew them from the arcade versions.
Right.
And so maybe it's just a way to, like, you know, bring your arcade game home. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I would love to try the arcade, like an actual stand-up arcade version of this, just to see how it plays in comparison to on the NES.
Yeah, the big thing I remember seeing is just like, it's just so much more colorful.
Sure.
Whereas like all of these is like, look, you have a total of 20 colors to use.
Yeah. What do you want?
Use them wisely.
Yeah. We have 8 bits. Like, what the fuck do you? We don't have blast processing. Like, I don't know what you want.
You know what? I'm starting to think that this game was just made by the Mafia. How many colors do you need?
Yeah.
Come on.
Buy a game and
we'll
come break your
just
windows.
gray and blue. That's all you need.
Oh my
Grass is a weird, like, AstroTurf green. And
yeah, all the lawns are perfect. Yeah. Oh, man. What a fun, stupid game. Oh, quickly, too, like, I'm getting ready to wrap. Like, I literally think we've covered everything in this game.
Yeah,
like,
this game is pretty thin.
Yeah, it is. It's fun, but it is thin. I want to say there's a sound effect in this game, at least on the NES version, when I don't even know what they're called. Near driveways, there'll be like a rock tower or whatever, and then there's like an ornament on top. It kind of looks like a gray stop sign. And if you break it with a newspaper, it makes this weird, like, almost like a metal crumpling noise. Do you know what I'm talking about? Anyone listening to this, I guarantee some of you know. I love that noise. That like I would go out of my way to ride right up alongside him and hit it just for that, like, I can't do it, but it's got this really satisfying sound. I don't know. Other than that, my favorite thing is smashing the windows and just watching them smash, like hearing that noise. Oh my gosh. You get the lady chasing you with, and then, oh my God, because when the lady's chasing you with the knife, you have no choice but to push up and hit like your speed to maximum because she's right up your ass. But then when you're going maximum, it's almost impossible to make your deliveries. So then you end up missing 2 or 3 other houses. And I want to be like, it's not my fault. Blame Bernadette in house 2. She's chasing me with a knife. Like, I'm trying. I
can't work under these conditions.
Yeah, I quit. Fuck this. This job sucks. I don't know.
You know what is probably like one of the weak points in this game too is if you are a big fan of music in your video games, high quality music, I hope you are ready for the same 10 seconds of music.
Yeah, well, you'll have already
over and over.
I was thinking about that today when I was getting ready to do this episode. I was like, what music am I going to put in? Like, you've already heard this song twice. And in the next few minutes when we wrap up this episode, you're going to hear it for a 3rd time. That is literally the only music.
That is it.
Oh,
it is
no.
just that.
There's the obstacle course has a different track.
Oh, that's what? I think that's right.
There is, but you're only going to get to hear 10 seconds of that song too because you're going to crash in the obstacle course. Oh man,
yeah.
I like
it is a good 10 seconds of music.
It is
for about 10 seconds.
Yeah, totally.
And
yeah. No, I like this game, dude. Okay, so I'm just looking before we wrap this up.
Yeah,
I can't remember what I put in Play One, Remake One, Erase One this week, but I tried to go with other arcade games, and I've got Burger Time, Dig Dug 2, and Q*bert. And then we've also got Paperboy. And I love that era of I think Dig Dug 2 is the best game of those four. But I love these types of games. Like I love Burger Time. I love Galaga. I love Q*bert. I love Paperboy. Like I will always enjoy these 15-minute pick up and play it, have a good time, have some laughs, and it's over games. Like I like these games,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, it'd be a fun thing that you could probably do as a stream. I don't know if this goes in the episode, but if you just had a few people over and you just had a round robins of these different arcade games.
Oh God, like the high score, just see who gets the highest score at Paperboy.
Score in each of the games, and because they're so short, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be a whole lot of time.
And it's so much fun. I love this game. I want to play this now, and I don't think it's on anything. I was looking for it to get ready, and I don't think it's on any modern consoles, if I'm not mistaken.
I am currently just playing it. You just look it up.
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah.
It plays in your internet browser.
Oh, yeah. It says here, Xbox 360 and then iPhone. I can't imagine playing this on your iPhone. But
no,
anyway,
I can't. Games on iPhones, ports to iPhones, they are not great, especially for action games.
Oh, buddy, you can get Mega Man on your phone, and I'm anyone that I consider myself I'm pretty reasonably good at Mega Man, and I'm the idea of playing that on a touch screen on my iPhone, I would rather go to the dentist. That sounds impossible. Impossible.
Yeah, do you want me to break my phone? Because that's how I'm going to break my phone.
I played Final Fantasy Tactics on my iPad, and it worked, but it's because there's no reactions. Once you've got reactions,
that's right.
It gets pretty tough. I can't imagine.
I played Shining Force on my phone, and it's fine, but it's you can only play those kind of games with menus and
yeah. All right, well we did good. We made 45 minutes on Paperboy. I was people were there's not enough meat on the bone, and I was have you heard our Duck Hunt episode? This is gonna be a piece of cake. There's way more in Paperboy. We have a moving screen.
I was also concerned actually because I'm this thing is right. There's a reason why newspapers died, and I think it was because of this game. It started with this game, and I just can't anymore.
I love it. How are we going to score this thing? Do we score it out of there's 20 houses?
Sure.
Does that work?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
The floor is yours. Out of 20 houses, how many houses are you giving Paperboy?
If I was thinking about this as a kid, because the thing is, I liked this more as a kid in theory, because I only played it a few times when I was a kid.
Sure.
And I remember man, I think that looks like such a fun game. You're throwing everything, and I played it. I was oh, this is really hard. I think back in its era, I think it's probably a 12, 13. And as for now, I think I put it around to a 7.
That's fair.
Maybe 5 even. I'm going to go 5. 5 out of 20.
5 out of 20. So you've lost 5 subscribers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I totally got knifed by the woman coming out.
I'm
hit by a tornado.
Man, because I haven't played it. I'm serious. It might be 30 years since I've played Paperboy, and I love it.
So you have a little bit of the nostalgia.
Oh, buddy, I got crazy nostalgia, and I have no modern experiences with it to be oh, this is aged like shit. So I'm going pure off nostalgia. I'm giving this 14. I really did as a kid. I really, really liked this game. It's just I'm not stupid. I know there's not a lot to it, but what's there was always so much fun as a kid. I wanted a paper route as a child just so I could go around smashing windows, but it never happened.
So it's a very aspirational kind of thing. You know, that if they make a new Bully, they really need to have a Paperboy segment.
That'd be sick. That'd be so sick.
That's how you bring this game back.
I wonder, I've been calling for a new Bully forever. I legitimately I just don't think culture today would allow for a new Bully. I want it, but I mean, now we're getting into that weeds, but like that'd be a tough. That was a controversial game back then. That'd be a hard sell now, I think. Even though it's awesome, I love that game.
I think you could probably do a game like it in terms of you set in a school, you're a kid in a school, and you're dealing with bullies, and maybe you're like the anti-bully. That's right. What it would have to be. Yeah. But anyways, that's a different conversation.
Yeah. That'll be. We'll do that next week on growing up bullied. That'll be our new show because I could fucking host that show too. Good shit, David. That was fun. Thank you for doing this. You podcast outside of Remember the Game. You're not just the gentleman here.
I'm not just the gentleman here.
What else do you do?
I also do a show called Quantum Kickflip, which is an actual play podcast of a game called Slug Blaster, and that game is fully released. You can actually buy Slug Blaster yourself, but if you want to see what it's like to see it being played, Quantum Kickflip. It's about kids sneaking into other dimensions and get into all sorts of trouble. Very silly and very fun. I recommend at least giving it a listen.
Totally.
And we're partway through a season 2, so season 1 is fully up, and it's got the whole thing. If you're one of those binging kind of people. And we're about halfway through season 2, and it's been going well. Yeah,
and I know for a fact there's a sizable portion of the community that has become kick. Have you got a name for your kick flippers?
Oh, I don't.
Quantumites?
You know what? I guess no. We really should figure that out. Kick flippers does make sense.
It almost seems, but you guys Quantum Kickflip is such a sexy name for a show. I'm sure you guys my name sucks. I'm sure you guys could come up with something good for your listeners. But I know for a fact there's a lot of members of the community that listen to it, and it's quite well received. So there's information about it in the description of this show. I recommend checking them out. Tell them I sent you. It won't get you anything, but it'd be cool.
So. It will also reinforce that I should keep coming onto the show.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Dude, good stuff. That was fun, man. I love Paperboy. That was a fun episode. I've been wanting to cover Paperboy for about 2 years and just been kind of dragging my feet on it. And I'm glad we finally did that.
I'm glad I could help you with that.
Hell yeah, buddy. You and I have been on the phone together for almost 2 hours because we talked wrestling for an hour before we started this. So,
yes, that's correct.
Great chatting with you, man, as always. And thanks a lot for doing this. I appreciate it.
No problem.
And that is going to do it for this week's episode, David. Thank you so much for giving me a call and talking a little bit of Paperboy. And to every single one of you nerds listening to this right now, whether this was your first Remember the Game or your 263rd or some other number, thank you. I said it off the top, but seriously, thank you very much. There's so many retro gaming podcasts, and we are constantly charting really high around the world. And I'm so beyond, it's not a flex. I mean, I guess it's a flex, but it's a little flex. I'm proud of it, but I'm so humbled that anybody took a chance on our show with all the other ones out there. So just thank you very much for listening. And if you didn't hate this, leave us a nice review, would you? I'm not sure what they accomplished, but I'm supposed to ask for them. All the good shows ask for them. I'm going to ask for them as well. Leave us a nice review. And if you want more of these, patreon.com/remember the game. There's almost 500 bonus podcasts waiting for you over there. Ad-free, ready to go. And I drop 4 additional shows a week. A Simpsons podcast, a personal vlogging podcast, a second video game podcast, and a video game news podcast every week. Ad-free, ready to go. You can even listen to them on Spotify now. RememberTheGamePodcast.com. You can find the Spotify link. You can go through the whole catalog, see what's waiting for you. And while you're there, not while you're there, but don't forget to check out David's podcast, Quantum Kickflip. It's really popular. A lot of people listen to it around here, and you can find information about that in the description of this very show. I think that's it. think I'm done. Yeah. So I'll be back tomorrow for all our Patreons with Expansion Pass 177, which will be my Final Fantasy 16 spoiler-free review, and then I'll tack a spoiler cast on at the end, but I'll warn you first. You can listen to it without having anything ruined for you. By the way, next week it'll probably be, I'm going to try to get to Sea of Stars a review. So you can have back-to-back reviews on Expansion Pass the next couple of weeks. Good shit. So that'll be going live. Game Patch on Friday, and then we're back next. There's a voice crack. We'll be back next week with a whole other slab of podcasts, including Remember the Game 264, which hopefully will finally be about Silent Hill. All right? Don't forget, our merch is on sale, 20% off. Hit up rememberthegamepodcast.com. I have a P.O. box. You can find it there as well. And finally, check me out over on Twitch. No subscriptions or anything necessary. Just come by. It's free. Say hi. It's good shit. Twitch.tv/rememberthegame. All right? I'm going to thank some Patreons and get on with my life. Thank you for listening, everybody, and I will talk to you on the next one. Cheers. So long. Goodbye. Remember the Game is brought to you by our Patreons. I could not puke up all the content I churn out every week without all of your support and a lot of McNuggets. The following people are senior executive vice presidents or higher at patreon.com/rememberthegame, and as such, I am contractually obligated to say their names as quickly as possible. So a huge, heartfelt thank you to Eric Hopewell, Occupied Ace, Bearded Bastard, Alex McIntyre, Nothing Can Possibly Go Wrong, Philip Ramsey, AJ Mukherjee, Johnny Zubu81, Lord State Puffed, Austin from the Past to Present Player Podcast, Flinny123, Ryan Whitcomb, Big Daddy Randall, Scissorfist, Elephant Calves, Uncanny, Cody Thompson, Liquor Like Luigi, Fill Up My Mouth with Farts, Cesar, Plow King, Buy Me Bone Storm, or go to hell, Matt Zeus, Adam Blank's Evil Twin, Bula, Glue Scappin, Super Nintendo Chalmers, Blobby Rogers, Brian Richmond, Sabin, Guy Who Does Things, Robbie Air, Jake Callahan, Adam Blake still hasn't reviewed Mario Galaxy, Shoeboxers, Atrio Wormwood, Raging Irish, That One Kid Josh, Mark Sneed, E-Man Trucker, The Supreme Chozorizo, Fallen Snow Kiku, Tyler Bauer, It's OG, Hired Goons, Who, Beam Money, Mellow Yellow 8787, Benjamin Atkins, Faded Sufferance, Alex Ramos, Sour Goat Face, Max Sandin, Frosty Bear, Brian Weber. I lost my notes there. Lord Longrod Von Hugendom II, Digital Dave, Because 19, Beers of War, Shorzy, Can't Destroy Her, Kevin Monroe, Dr. Nightmare 23, The Big Deal, NAFE, Adam Martinet, Nick Creature, WestGen, Postman, Darth Skywalter, Solomon Soto, Just Car Pranks, Mr. Papa Giorgio, Itchy Nutsuru, Lucas Valadez, It's the Bigfoot, Alex R., Ryan Perry, Ted Explosion, Tom Houlihan, Neil Cooper, Alexander Camps, Dakota Guy, Works For Me, AB Killer, Knife Goes In, Guts Come Out, Kia Pup, Brandon DeZeba, Bobby Litton, Big the Cat, Zamatos, Christopher Britt, Cam Nelly 23, Quiet Place Queen, Burt Macklin, Trevor McKee, Chevy Boy 9211. Catch my breath. Bulma Simp. I don't know if that's Len or Ian. I think it's Len. Hitchy Poo. No, is it Ian? It's either a lowercase L or an uppercase I. I don't know. Ian. I don't fucking know. Hitchy Poo. Beef Dingleberry. Timothy Sabrinsky. John M. Watkins. On My Foot. Graham Kennedy. Musty Beetle. Radioactive Man. Maverick Marty. Christian Gabriel. Brian Neese. Timmy the Exuberant Turtle. Isaiah. Squeaknut. Sleeper Hit. Colin Bollinger. The Fletchman. Nerdy Hybrid. Donnie the Dude Walter. Sam Carpenter. Jones of Ben. Okay. Franklin Badge. John of the Adult Children Podcast. Max Lagroom. Dem Boys on the Roof. General Fury. Cody Richardson. Nicole Aldena. Scrub Tech 84. Puck. Roku Saki's Gardner, Chris Williams, Joe Stone, Timothy, Kayach, Esteban Navarro, High Plains Drifter, Hagel Waffle, Antonio Echeverria, Storm Beagle, Scary Terry, Blaine the Hoagie Man, Wyatt the Surgeon Who's Not a Surgeon Row, a dude named Adam, Decoy Man, Fuzzy 99, Dan Fusselman, Gabe, Matt Babineau, Stud Still Smash, Sean Ramos, Leroy Westrich, Nicola, Thomas Smith, C-Spin, Beaver Boy, Laces Out Dan, Biddy, Thomas Childs, Jake Carter, Eric James, Ruben Elizal, Joe the Sandman, Phil Lencher, Juris Dr. Mario, Mizuru, Steve Dalk, Jameer Williams, DBXJ, Ray Sam Wantonga, It's That Nerd James, Elijah Burns, Chugger 22, Triple, Frosty Feet 492, Ballsack Teabagger, Zach Shepard, Holmes, Trevor Leahy, Just a Fish, Sir Francis Cake, John Woodruff, Tunable Power, Daniel, Captain Ed, Jeff Bergeron, Zonko 504, Titan 420, Squinch, Johnny from Virginia, Wolf Magic 21, Doogie, Andy Hudson, Wolfgang Darren, Mercury 869, G9PSX, Mike Maloney, Ryan Kinchin, Zane Donovan, Morgan 8-Town, Nathan Tremblay, Aaron Lawson, Scott Brooks, No One Cares, Dave Thompson, Angry Ticks, Fraser Burns. Here we go. Jordan, Andrew Wright, Chris Fleury, Doug Dorn, Slick Rick, Dan of DNA Gaming, Dave McGee, James Clark, The Keegs, Andre Sharonik, Joe Buck, and Makeshift Mallow, Magic Money. I'm not out of breath yet, so I'm going to keep fucking talking until I almost do run out of breath, but thank you all so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this show, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the shows that we do, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Cheers. Thanks, everybody.